Welcome to episode 39, the most vibrant Beyond the Plate. A show about food, food culture, food history, food recipes, and the lovely Chef Amrita Raichand. What's up? What's up? How are you?
Everything is good, Rishi. Thank you so much for having me here. I love Beyond the Plate.
I count on you to give me the significance of the day, and I had no idea this even existed. What day is it?
It's the National Personal Chef Day.
And there's a dedicated association for that stuff?
Yes, it's not a national...
the Americans, I tell you.
Yes, it's an American National Chef Day, Personal Chef Day. And in fact, frankly, I was also trying to figure out a topic to discuss on today's Beyond the Plate. And I came across this day, though it's not exactly relevant in the same way as it is in America. It does hold a lot of interesting, relevance, which I would like to expand when we talk today. Yes, there is a dedicated association. It's called USPCA, United States Personal Chef Association, which, believe it or not, has 10,000 registered members.
Wow.
And they are the ones who founded this special day to show appreciation for their hard work and dedication of personal chefs. These personal chefs who use culinary skills to make every meal special definitely should be honored, and America has realized that.
Well, in India, you ask anybody, it'll be mom, grandmom, household help.
Sometimes daddies.
Bai, like they say in Bombay.
Yes.
And of course, Maharaj, as they say in large parts of the north. The didis or the maushis,
yes.
And daddy for some people.
Yes, which is why today I wanted to draw everyone's attention to the efforts and to serenade that person who handles our pots and pans, the knife brandisher, the one who's responsible for quite literally bringing food at the table of each of our respective homes. Most of us, without even realizing, without meaning to, can easily take their effort for granted. So it was really important for me to cover this topic today. Also, Rishi, in digital times that we live in now, most people are so busy and so engrossed in their TV screens that they actually make it like a meal time also at that time. They are, they don't even bother to figure out the taste, all that effort, all that love that goes into cooking that meal that they are eating while chomping away in front of their TV or their mobile screens. For example, in our home, we are a family of 5, and each of us has different likes and dislikes. Not only the actual food, but the planning, the grocery shopping, the vegetable shopping. All of this actually comes under the radar of what a personal chef does. That personal chef, like we discuss in our families and most Indian homes, are mums. In my case, we are very lucky. We had, a lady who we fondly called Amma. She worked, believe it or not, with my in-laws for 30 years. And then for another 6 years after I got married, Rishi, there are some signature dishes of our Raichand home which have been created by my mother-in-law with the help of Amma. And today also when we invite people home, they will ask for those dishes. They will be like, Amma ki prawn curry hai, Amma ka mutton hai. So that's the amount of contribution she's given to us, along with the love. Even when my son was born, she used to literally become his caretaker also. So we retired her when she finally started getting old, and we settled her with a home. Her kids were well educated, and today one has a business of his own. Two of them are working in great organizations. And the reason I talk about it today with all humility is that it's really, really important to show our staff that regard. If it's not staff, it's your mum. How many times have you actually gone to your mother and said, hey mum, thanks for that amazing meal you've made? We just take it for granted that mom is there, she's going to cook that meal for us. The other thing which I really want to point out today is the housewives of today, who really show a lot of grit. You want to know what kind of a Jhansi ki Rani they literally are? You travel by local trains. I've had that experience in my college days when I used to, live in Andheri and used to come to Xavier's College to study. In the evening, there would be all these group of women who would be sitting cutting vegetables. Now, they have actually had a long day's work. They're going to go back and cook as well for their family. So what are they doing? They're chopping all the vegetables to save time. Now, that's the grit of our Indian housewife, and that I think really, really needs to be applauded.
I also want to, apart from applauding them, want to ask you, how are things at home? I can imagine one of your biggest heroines would be your mother.
Absolutely.
Yeah? And obviously that goes into the making of the modern day chef Amrita Raichand.
Oh, thank you. But you are so right, Rishi. My mom lost her husband at 32. I was 3.5 years old with 2 older brothers. And she was the Jhansi ki Rani, like I mentioned earlier, who decided not to go to her in-laws, not to, be looked after by her parents. She said, I'm going to bring up my 3 kids. And my God, how she did her job beautifully. But what that one thing I want to talk about today is how she used to cook every meal, whether it was breakfast, whether it was packing my tiffin before she headed out to work. After coming back, she would make lunch. Then she would go back to work, come back, make dinner, and that's when she would retire from that long day. And I've grown up watching her. She would make me sit on the stool next to her, also to give her company, but also to teach me those little nuances of cooking, which is what I can proudly say I've learned from my mother. When I finally got married and had my baby, I realized that need of doing the same thing for my child. But today's children are not as easygoing as we were. Humko to kaddu ki sabzi bhi, if they would give us, bottle gourd in English, since this is Radio 1. And suddenly I saw Rishi's eyebrows go up when I used 2 Hindi words. We wouldn't really crib, and we would eat everything that was given to us. But our children have a very exposed palate, a very fussy palate. And my son particularly has a very advanced palate, which at one level I'm proud of. But it also meant that I was faced with challenges of feeding him well and turning around and saying, well, I have the best mom, and I have, my mom cooks the best food. I'm going to go a little more in this space and tell you that actually led me to realize the importance of healthy cooking for children. And once I figured that out through my little experiments at home, even little wars at home, I realized I wanted to share this knowledge with everybody around, because everybody does not have, the genes of my mother and the creativity perhaps which I was, born with. I really, that's when I decided to go to Singapore, did my advanced culinary course, and that's when I got exposed to what really happens behind a commercial kitchen, what happens in these culinary schools. When I came back and I worked in Intercontinental, again for 6 months, the way these chefs toiled, my God, I had renewed respect for not only my mother, but every chef out there who cooks, personal or not. Rishi, all of them need to be applauded today. And I'm going to take a little moment to request everybody who's listening to us. Even when we go to restaurants, I've often seen people, affluent people, who speak rather rudely, come here, with a flick of a finger to staff around. I'm sure a lot of us do that unknowingly sometimes at home as well. This is the moment to realize that cooking in a kitchen, with that heat around, with all the pressure of delivering food on time, is really a taxing job. So whether it's your mother who's cooking for you, or your staff, or your sister, please, or a chef in a restaurant, please show them a little regard. And nothing else in the world will make them happier than just a little word of praise. So please do that the next time you have somebody feeding you a good, happy meal.
RESPECT. Respect is all that is needed. Yeah.
Indeed.
Beyond the Plate comes to you every Monday, 8:15 to 9 a.m. on the FM band 94.3. Mumbai, Delhi, Bengaluru, and Chennai. You can listen to us and enjoy. 2 days later, on Wednesday, we go up on video form in the Radio 1 International YouTube channel. Amrita does a recipe of the video of the day or the week in video form, which is filmed in her studio kitchen. That goes up on Instagram at 94.3 Radio 1 India, and also at Amrita Raichand. Please go check out our YouTube channel, Chef and Beyond. Now, 9833943943. That's the WhatsApp line, 9833943943. Please ask any questions on recipes, food culture, food history, your personal queries on that line, and it'll come up in the Ask Amrita section at the end of the show. So, since you talked about you, your mother, your amma, I imagine today's recipe is going to be a piece of your heart.
It is indeed. And as for my little baby, who's not little anymore, a typical teenager who wants only protein and only eggs to build his muscles. And we all know how boring boiled eggs can get. So one day he wakes up and says, Mama, I need to have boiled eggs, but I just am bored of it. I can't have boiled eggs. I hate them. And I'm like, wait, I'll swish my magic wand and give you something exciting. So it was literally a creation on a very busy morning. And the reason I'm telling you this is that it is so easy. All you have to do is, chop up some garlic, some onions, some mushrooms, or any other vegetable of your choice. You can even add some baby spinach to it, or some peppers. Take a pan, saute all of these ingredients, and then make a little space. Add your boiled eggs. Obviously, first boil your eggs, cut them into two so the sunny side, so to speak, is up. You can place them in a nice arrangement between all the veggies that you have created. Of course, season it with some salt, pepper. You can add chili flakes, some mixed herbs, and then let the eggs cook with some grated cheese. You cover it, the cheese will melt, you add in some parsley for garnish, and you have a delicious meal of boiled eggs, which I call my way.
Lovely. And on that note, let's segue into the Ask Amrita section. And this is Kunal. Amrita, can you recommend savory side dishes that pair well with a variety of main courses? So you have this small plate that combines well with the big plate, and it's got to be savory.
Yes, but I would have loved to understand more whether he wants an Indian, suggestion or Western. But I'm going to
Indian.
No, I'm going. Yeah, but you see, usually that's what I was going to say. That when you're Indian, there's nothing called side plate. There's always, every dish which kind of comes together to make your main meal. So I'm going to stick to Western side dishes because there you actually need a few interesting side meals. So if, for example, you have a grilled chicken that you're having, saute some mushrooms on the side with some herbs. You can do some mashed potatoes. You can even grill some asparagus. You can even do something as simple as caramelizing onions and mixing them with some cherry tomatoes. Or make a nice, interesting, quick salsa with chopping up some onions and some peppers into it. And that's a fairly delightful side plate. What do you think?
I think it sounds... I would give that up. I would give my main course up to
Nice.
Kavya, are there any specific dry fruits that are particularly beneficial for skin health? Dry fruits and skin health.
Well, almonds are definitely good for you, and I, for one, have 5 soaked almonds every morning. I think I have decent skin. But
lovely
dry
skin,
fruits,
resplendent skin. Take it from somebody who's sitting next to her.
Oh, thank you. No, but on the whole, dry fruits, seeds, they are particularly good for skin. So I will highly recommend them. I like to always carry some mix of seed along with me for a snack. They make a very interesting snack as well. So I think dried nuts particularly, rather than dried fruit, which is your dates, which is your figs. I would avoid that, but I would focus on the nuts.
That's the story, Morning Glory. Beyond the Plate shall come to you again next week. Until then, from Chef Amrita Raichand and me, Hrishi K, it is bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you for having me here. See you all.
94.3 Radio 1.